Hello, my name is Dr. Wartina Davis, Dean of the College of Arts, Humanities, and Social Sciences. And I am so thrilled to be here this evening to celebrate the legends of our university. Faculty members who have been a critical part of the development and the basic foundation of this university. And so I'm so pleased to be here this evening. I would like to begin by doing some introductions of individuals who are part of the committee that helped us put things together this evening. We have, from the college, we have Dr. Michael Gordon, Dean's Fellow, Dr. Ian Marshall, Associate Dean of the College of Arts, Humanities, and Social Sciences, Tia Cherry, who's in charge of academic initiatives in the college. We also have Maureen O'Connor, Director of Development for the College of Arts, Humanities, and Social Sciences. We have a member of the Dean's Advisory Board, Dr. Mark Schaefer, who is a former Chief of Staff for President Arnie Spear, who's and also a member of the Dean's Advisory Board of the College of Arts, Humanities, and Social Sciences. And we also have two individuals from Alumni Relations. We have Jenna Villani, who is the Executive Director of Alumni Relations. And we have Kate Matthews-Bray, who is the Associate Director of Alumni Relations. I would be remiss if I didn't thank the wonderful people who are Greg Matheson and support from the IRT department, who were so helpful in putting this event together for us. This is the kind of event that I would have loved to have in person. And I was really hoping that we would have been able to do that this year. But, you know, the circumstances are as they are, in that as we got closer to the date, it seemed more and more clear that it might be best to just make this year's event just a virtual event as well. Hopefully next year we'll be celebrating together, and hopefully we can have our faculty come back and celebrate with us, the ones who participated virtually for the last couple of years. So let me begin a little bit talking about the individuals that we're celebrating tonight. Now, I will tell you that we have videos and we have people who are going to talk about them in depth, but as a dean, I think it's important to talk a little bit about the contributions of them. And I'm going to do a sort of relatively broad cast, because I don't want to step on any toes of anybody else who says that may be speaking later. But I'd like to start by saying Casey Loom and Lori Ramos, individuals who are, I became dean of just this year. So one person for one semester and the other the year before. But what I've heard about these faculty members is about their incredible commitment to their students and to the study of communication, and their absence will be greatly missed. Phil Cioffari is absolutely an amazing member of our faculty. He is a member of the English department and has served many, many years as the honor director for the performing arts track. Phil is very definitely, you know, when I talk about the legends, he definitely falls in the category of legends. He was one of the names of individuals I heard when I first came to the university, and I've been here for a minute, more than a minute. And everyone talks about his contributions and his engagement over time, and his critical role in developing some of the early programs that we currently offer and that we think of as hallmarks of our university. Karen Dempsey, half of the dynamic Dempsey faculty duo. She's absolutely incredible coordinator of woodwinds. I've had the pleasure of hearing her play a long time ago as a faculty member. And what I remember in terms of impressions I have is that she's just absolutely delightful and sweet, and she's just effusive in that. And you can definitely feel that when you have an opportunity to have a conversation with her. Dr. Marina Budhos is an English professor as well. And her focus is really on young adult literature. And I was required by my teens who love her work to let everybody know how impactful her young adult literature is. And they love her work as a consequence. Hideo Watanabe, Languages and Cultures, Japanese language professor and professor of Japanese culture. I know that almost every year he returns to Japan to do research and has, as again, one of those individuals that you look at as a sort of foundational rock kind of person. And I'm just thankful that we've had the opportunity to share his contributions to our students. Evelyn Gonzalez, history. Evelyn and I go back a long way. And what I love about Evelyn, in addition to her incredible work as a professor of history, in particular urban history, is her frankness. She's going to tell you like it is. And I like that. And what I know about her from her students is that she's motivated them to aspire and reach for more. One of the things that Evelyn may not realize is that she actually taught my wife a class. And my wife still talks about that, her incredible influence on her, and how she really hopes one day to go back and work on graduate work in history, because she was so impacted by and influenced by Dr. Gonzalez. So thank you. And finally, I want to recognize Professor Dr. John Mason and Dr. Maya Chadda, and I'm going to do them together. Dr. John Mason is a professor of political science. Specialty is European politics, and an all-around great guy. I'm going to be a little emotional. So I will say on the front end, my background is a political science professor. So when I leave the political science professors for last, I'm the dean of all faculty. But I may get a little bit emotional when I talk about these two. Maya Chadda is a professor of South Asian studies, political science, and renowned in her work in terms of international and United Nations NGO work. She's just very connected and a talented dancer as well. Thank you, John and Maya, for cultivating that they hired me, and cultivating a very young newbie to the university, centering my experience and welcomed me into the culture of our department, which was truly student focused, and it helped me orient myself as a faculty member, and then finally as I moved into administration, individuals who really made me feel strong and supported based on the things that I had experienced with them as a faculty member. So thank you, John and Maya, for your incredible contributions to our students, and to encouraging and cultivating young faculty and mentoring them so that they can reach heights. Thank you. So with that, and someone mentioned here that Davis Koitsinen mentioned that Maya is also a musician. I did not know that. We're gonna have to find out more about that. So with that, I would like to begin the actual part of the formal part of the presentations with our virtual presentation. In terms of the format, we will begin with welcome words from the president and provost, and then we will go in sequence with someone introducing and someone who and then an acceptance. I just realized I forgot someone. Ted Cook. How could I forget Dr. Cook? His passion for Asian studies and Japanese history is profound, truly profound. And what he and his wife did for the students of this university in terms of introducing them and encouraging them and exposing them to the broader world around, you just can't beat it. His passion, his intellect, he's an incredible scholar, and I am very pleased to call him friend. So with that, if we can begin the video.
Greetings, retiring faculty members of the William Paterson College of Arts, Humanities, and Social Sciences. I am so sorry I can't be with you today, but I am so glad that you were able to come together with colleagues who are excited to celebrate you. On behalf of everyone at the university, I want to join them in this celebration of your service to your respective disciplines, to generations of William Paterson students, and to this wonderful institution. Please know that your contribution to William Paterson and your impacts on students will not end with your retirement. I'm sure you are all in touch with alumni who you taught, mentored, and advised through graduate school and careers. Just as your influence on their education and professional development extended beyond their days at William Paterson, so too will it continue across the institution long after your time on campus. Through your teaching, scholarship, and service, you have helped change your students' lives, advanced your field, and made William Paterson a better university. For that, we are all grateful. While you are retiring, you will always be pioneers, always be part of this vibrant academic community. And of course, you will always be welcome back on campus. So I hope you visit often. Retired faculty have always played a vital role in the life of the university through their continued involvement on campus and in their respective fields. And I hope that you will all continue that tradition in ways that are meaningful to you and that will help enrich your lives, no matter what the next phase looks like for each of you. I want to thank Dean Davis, the department chairs, and all the faculty and staff in the college for all of their good work, including hosting this great event, where we recognize and celebrate each of you for your decades of contributions and achievements, which to amount to a truly impressive 299 years of collective service. Again, thank you. Congratulations on this important milestone, and I wish you all the best for the future. Enjoy the rest of the program and take good care.
Hello, colleagues. I'm so glad to be here today to share a few words about some special people. The moment of a retirement is always bittersweet, and I acknowledge that this moment is unusually so. I have so much appreciated getting to know you all, whether it be through a social event, a department meeting, a faculty senate context, your materials as part of a promotion, range adjustment, or ART portfolio, or even at the local CVS or the coffee shop in University Hall. Most especially, though, I've appreciated getting to know you through others, your department chair, your dean, your colleagues, and especially your students, most vividly reflected in the events of commencement week, but also through things such as their honors theses, stage and musical performances, job placements, and grad school admissions. I had opportunity a few weeks ago to attend the Legacy Gala Dinner, a moment when we honor a distinguished alum and a distinguished faculty member. Rich Garofo, Vice President for Web Services at Amazon, and Jean Levitan, Professor of Public Health, in their award acceptance speeches, spoke so pointedly about the life-changing opportunity of a college education. The former from his perspective as a first-generation college student, and the latter from the perspective of a career in service to such a mission. Both, however, spoke the same refrain. It was relationships at William Paterson that shaped who they are and represented their most satisfying life elements. We will deeply miss your presence at William Paterson, but the legacy that the 9 of you leave us is both broad and deep, honoring not only your colleagues, but the vision and goals of your respective disciplines and the college you collectively call home. Thank you for what you've done to make William Paterson such a special place and to have contributed so much for so long. Ted, Maya, John, Hideo, Evelyn, Phil, Marina, Karen, and Lori, I wish you the best as you shift to a new life phase, and please come visit as often as you can. We will be better for it.
Hi, my name is Raji Kaur. I'm professor of English and director of the Asian Studies program. I'm privileged today to be paying tribute to Professor Ted Cook, professor of history with a specialization in Japanese history and society, who has taught numerous foundational and very popular courses in Asian studies with an emphasis on Japan, including Engaging Disaster, Community Preparedness and Recovery from Catastrophe, a UCC 5 civic engagement course that is regularly over-enrolled. A distinguished scholar, Ted was recently at the University of London's renowned School of Oriental and African Studies in 2018-2019 for a Fulbright project on war and memory in shaping Japanese culture. Among other publications, together with Professor Haruko Cook, he has authored Japan at War, an Oral History, and together, Professor Cook and Haruko have led many study abroad summer sessions in Japan. A beloved teacher and colleague, Ted was longtime director of the Asian Studies program, and under him and his energetic leadership, the Japanese track of the program especially grew robustly, attracting students from near and far. I have known Ted since I joined William Paterson in 2006, but more closely since I took on my present role as director of the Asian Studies program in 2018. Ted has been more than generous in sharing his expertise in advising me and supporting ASN. More recently, I have been touched by his deep solicitude and devotion to his beloved wife, Haruko, who sadly passed away last year. When I think of institutional stalwarts, colleagues I identify with the success and reputation of William Paterson, Ted Cook is among the first persons I think of as someone whose energy, dedication, and broad cosmopolitan outlook and vision I and the entire university community, especially the legions of students Ted has mentored over the years, will miss tremendously. Ted, it has been a privilege to work alongside you. We will miss you. Thank you.
I came to William Paterson College from the University of California, San Diego in September 1988. It was a return to the East Coast for me, since I had earned my doctorate degree in Japanese and East Asian history from Princeton University, and I was delighted to be welcomed into the Department of History by a friendly group of colleagues who would, over the years, help me perfect my skills as an educator, while always supporting and encouraging my work as an historian. That nurturing has continued through the expansion of my department and the growth of our institution into William Paterson University of New Jersey. I am an historian and proud of the ethical responsibilities that career choice challenges each of us to embrace. It has been a delight teaching European civilization, then world history, as foundation courses, even as my opportunities to teach special courses in war and society, disaster awareness and preparedness, oral history, and popular culture, and these have all enriched my efforts to teach all periods of Japanese history here at WPU. Helping to build the Asian Studies program at William Paterson was one of my great joys. Begun as a faculty initiative, many of us saw an opportunity to offer an enhanced focus on Asia that would be vital to our community and to students of many interests and potential career choices in the years ahead. Some of the other ASN founders retired last year or are leaving this year too, but fortunately dedicated others remain. As a program, rather than as a separate academic department, ASN allowed us to introduce the cultures of China, Japan, and South Asia, and more recently Korea, to many here in New Jersey who had not had the opportunity to encounter them before joining us here. Many students expanded their studies into languages and even elected to minor or major in Asia Studies. When Haruko Taya Cook joined the Languages and Cultures Department from Fordham Marymount College when that institution was closed, she developed a summer program in Kanazawa City, Japan, that has always been my goal for hands-on learning. She ran it for 4 summers that almost all who participated declared to have been a truly life-changing experience. 2 of her students, our students, still remain in Kanazawa. I want to thank Dean Watina Davis of the College of Arts, Humanities, and Social Sciences for this award on this occasion. One can hardly sum up 34 years at an institution I love. But I want to thank my colleagues, my supervisors, and the people of New Jersey for creating and sustaining this university. Most of all, though, I want to thank my students, who over the years have made my life rewarding and challenging, always providing the incentive to take into the classroom whatever new knowledge my scholarship might unearth, and explore with me how our world might be enhanced by deeper learning and inquiry. Again, thank you for this opportunity.
My name is Tom Brooks. I'm Professor of Law and Government at Durham University in the UK, and until a few months ago, I was the Dean of our law school here at Durham Law School. It is a great honor to pay tribute to the work of Professor Maya Chadda on her retirement. I can't believe this is happening, and that seems that it was only just the other day I was coming to her office for the first time. I was first recommended to speak with Professor Chadda by my music supervisor. I was a music student originally when I was in William Paterson, coming in 1992. I took an interest in Professor Aiken's class on non-Western music. I was taking an interest in Indian classical music, and he strongly advised that I go to political science to meet with Professor Chadda, who he said, was an amazing Indian classical dancer and knew everything about the music and could share a lot more with me. And she certainly did. But when I met Professor Chadda, we very quickly turned to kind of the ethics and politics behind the stories told in much of the music and dance. And this is something that kind of began to really hook me. I took a class on comparative politics. I took a class on U.S. foreign policy. Also took a class on democratization, which was my, these are some of my first modules that I took, learning about the parliamentary system and how things work here in the UK, amongst many other places, which has gone to serve me quite well now that I am an advisor to the opposition benches in Parliament right now. My initial training education was through Professor Chadda. But she gave me opportunities that have really shaped me since, and so rare to support someone in the way that she so kindly did for me. So during my undergraduate time, I was brought in to help kind of lead seminar discussions in some of her classes, which was my very first taste of teaching experience. This was, under her watchful eye, with feedback and comments and support afterwards. And that was hugely helpful to me as I went on to graduate school and doing teaching assistant roles there, and then getting on the academic track and now full professor. That my initial start in life was thanks to Professor Chadda. But it wasn't just in teaching, and also learning from her great example, the way that she would conduct classes herself with such authority, but yet such ease. Always taking time to entertain questions and follow the argument and the conversations where they would go. Something that I've taken that flexible approach myself throughout my career, following her good example. But she's also showed me excellences in kind of academic work, academic study. So, for example, I did an independent study project where I was effectively a research assistant helping her prepare a book on building of democracy in South Asia, looking at India, Pakistan, and Nepal. While I do not start my day every day with the Kathmandu Post and a coffee, there was a time when I most certainly did, and it was doing the project, helping doing some work on Nepal. And it was a fascinating time, not just to kind of get a sense of what academic study was like, the process of what it's like drafting chapters and putting these things together, and being involved more as a spectator than participant, and how that process works has been hugely helpful to me. But Maya was also very supportive of my kind of finding my own feet. And she helped facilitate my speaking at the New York Association of Asian Studies conference at what was Dowling College in New York, I think around my final year at William Paterson. And that was my first academic conference. And when I think back, these experiences I had, learning how to getting a bit of teaching experience, learning a bit about academic publishing work, being involved a bit in the conference scene. These are often experiences that advanced PhD students have, but these are things that I got at William Paterson with Maya. And so I want to really thank you, Maya. Speaking personally to you, I really regret I can't be there with you right now. It was great to see you just before lockdown a couple years ago, and I very much hope to see you when I'm back again soon. But thank you so much from the bottom of my heart for all you did for me and for so many students. We're all very much in your debt, very grateful. And I really look forward to seeing you again soon. My best.
I'm Maya Chadda in the Department of Political Science, and I have been in the Department of Political Science for the past 40 plus years. And I'm retiring this year, and the university has honored me by sending me this beautiful award, and I thank the university for it, and most grateful for giving me a lifetime of an extraordinary experience. I thank the administration of the university, Dean, my friend, Patina, and all my colleagues in the department, those who are there right now and those who left a little earlier, retiring or going to another place. I took a walk, around the campus just the other day. It was a beautiful summer day. And I walked around, and so many memories came back to me when I first came for an interview to be, recruited to the department. From then on, it was in the science building. And I looked around, and so much has changed, and so much remains the same. I walked back to my office. The atrium is a new place. All the buildings in between are different. The student center looks different. But there is something permanent about the place, and it's the people and the students and the campus. And it is that which I will miss most certainly. It's been a life of a lot of learning for me, and I would say some achievements, because we have, I, myself, and Steve Shalom, John Mason, who's also retiring this year, we really built the international aspect of this, our department, the whole facets, adding new curriculum, adding new offerings, internationalizing the curriculum. All of us had a lot of contacts abroad and in various international bodies and institutions. I had contact at the UN and the Council on Foreign Relations, of which I'm a member. And we brought all of this together in order to expand the international part of internationalization of the the Asian studies. Gabe Wang, who we started with him, but then I wrote grants and served as a director of the Asian Studies for a while. And we really expanded that particular part of the university offering. It was a struggle, but nonetheless, we achieved much. Now, as I look back, I think of scores of students, so many, countless, who come and gone. Many stick in my mind because they have kept in touch. They keep on writing to me. It's a wonderful feeling to be hearing from them and how the studies, their experience at William Paterson University and in my courses, the debates and the discussions we had some lasting impact on their own thinking and their own growth. And as they went on in doing different things in life. Last of all, my colleagues, I will miss them very much. And as I was walking back, I came to the 12 trees that are planted outside Robbinger. I can't remember when they were planted, but they have been blossoming ever since, every year. And in many ways, I've sort of counted the passing of the years by looking at the blossoming magnolias, all 12 of them. I'll miss them too. Thank you very much for a wonderful, wonderful life experience, for giving me the opportunity to interact with students, generation of students, and giving me the opportunity to give something of myself and my own thinking and learning to them. Goodbye. Thank you.
So I should probably state that I've had a few favorite professors, all of which are faculty in the political science department, so I'll be careful with my words. But it should come as no surprise that John Mason is not only among them, but that he is unique, and that the academic relationship I've shared with him is very special and dear to me. I took my first class with John in spring of 2016, and I remember being so impressed with him as a professor. He had this really vast knowledge, not just regarding political issues or current events, but also film, pop culture, history, and he's just a really eccentric and an interesting human being. He has this spirit that's intrinsically rooted in democracy. He really wants people to participate and to be moved by what's around them, and ultimately to care as much as he does. I later went on to take several other classes with him and was lucky enough to work alongside him as a graduate assistant. In 2018, John presented me with the Paul B. Voris Award at a department ceremony, and he wrote me a letter of recommendation for grad school that brought me to literal tears. To this day, I still think it's the nicest collection of things that anyone has ever said or written about me. So naturally, when I learned of his retirement, I was compelled to return the favor. As educators move towards the tail end of their career, I think they struggle with the idea that maybe they aren't as effective or inspiring, or wonder if they're still making a difference in their students' lives. And I really hope that John knows how much of an impression he left on me. I really wasn't sure if I was going to be able to express that to him with words. So for good measure, I've actually brought with me today every paper and assignment I ever wrote for him. With all of his graded remarks. For the past 6 years, I've saved these. And I'll just share my favorite from him. Very good, Kelly. You got the main lines of argument and nailed them solid. So maybe this course wasn't wasted on someone. John, while I'm really happy for you that you're finally retiring after decades of service to this university, it's pretty bittersweet that you won't be on campus anymore. I'll miss learning from you, collaborating with you, tracking down books at the library for you, and our many chats outside of Robbinger Hall. Thank you for believing in me as a student, even when sometimes I didn't believe in myself. For that, I am eternally grateful.
Good evening. My name is Professor John Mason, and this month, June 2022, marks the 30th year of my service as a tenure track instructor and professor at William Paterson. Actually, before that, in the 2 years in the 1990s and even on occasion in the 1980s, I also taught at William Paterson as an adjunct in the political science department. But I've been here for the last 30 years, and I've been teaching both at the undergraduate and the graduate level. My areas of expertise are European politics, international political economy, comparative politics, and occasionally international relations. So the last 15 years, I have been helping to direct MA theses on a wide variety of what I consider to be important topics. Most recently this month, I helped approve a thesis by one of our graduate students on climate change and global food insecurity, which of course was an important piece of research and couldn't be more timely given the events of the Ukraine war. At the same time in the MA program, we also have been sponsoring a series of international conferences and conferences on what we call critical policy issues for the last 10 to 12 years with a wide variety of guests. Most recently this year, we did a roundtable early in September on the Afghan war after 20 years, which featured one of our own undergraduate students, whose family was part of the evacuation effort from Kabul. This past month, we did a panel on Putin's war on Ukraine, where one of my students who graduated from William Paterson in 2012, then known as Caitlin Garcia, but currently Kate Trisvan, was speaking to us directly from the Ukraine, Western Ukraine and Chernovitz, where she's played an important role in promoting Ukrainian literature to English audiences, but also, of course, in waging the information war against the invasion. So these are the kind of broad range of topics that we've managed to both teach and encourage within the MA program and more broadly the political science department. Now, of course, after 32 years, I'm facing the moment of retirement. And I look around the panel tonight, the people whose service we're celebrating. I see many of my friends and colleagues, Maya Chadda, whom I worked with alongside for many years, Ted Rice, Evelyn Gonzalez. And what I'm thinking is that collectively, what all of us tried to do was globalize the curriculum at William Paterson University and provide both students and faculty with opportunities not only to meet and talk with foreign personalities and leaders, but also to go abroad to study at foreign institutions. Now, of course, looking forward, I wonder if the university will be able to continue many of these efforts, given the dramatic drop in college enrollments nationwide, given a political environment which is characterized by public skepticism about the value of university education, and I would say also increasing political hostility to institutions of higher education. It may be that we have to find a narrower focus and seek to alter our profile in ways that'll make us a less inviting target for public controversy. In any case, as I retire, what comes to mind is a line from Voltaire's Candide, where Dr. Pangloss, in the wake of the Lisbon earthquake of 1755, uttered those famous words, "It's the best of times and the best of all possible worlds." And on that note, let me say thank you and goodbye.
Hello, I'm Madhuri Mukherjee. It is my great privilege and honor to say a few words about our wonderful colleague, Professor Hideo Watanabe. Hideo arrived at William Paterson in 2001. As I drove him around to find an apartment, I remember being impressed by how implacable, calm, and tranquil he was. Trekking in the July heat from apartment to apartment, climbing up and down numerous flights of stairs, dealing with landlords and agents, nothing seemed to perturb or upset Hideo. Wow, I said to myself, this is one placid dude. Until I saw him in the classroom, completely galvanized. Passionate about sharing Japanese language, literature, and culture, Watanabe Sensei, as the students call him, transformed into the most energetic and dynamic teacher, motivating and inspiring our students in the study of unfamiliar and challenging subject matter, and making them fall totally in love with it. Practically every student in a beginner's class with Watanabe Sensei has continued on to acquiring more and more proficiency. Professor Watanabe's excellence in teaching is matched by his research and scholarship, as well as his service. He has long served as faculty advisor to the very active student club Go Japan. Under Hideo's stewardship, the Go Japan Club has organized trips to cherry blossom festivals and Japanese restaurants, held events on campus showcasing Japanese music, cuisine, calligraphy, anime, and cinema in a harmonious blend of education and entertainment. Also dear to Hideo's heart was the highly competitive Japanese exchange and teaching program, aptly known as the JET program. Thanks to the interest Hideo took in encouraging and mentoring our students, several WPU pioneers have had the life-changing opportunity to work in Japan as teachers or interpreters and to represent the United States as cultural ambassadors. As you prepare to retire, Hideo, your colleagues in languages and cultures and in Asian studies wish the very best for you. We will cherish the two sides of your personality, the serene, unflappable, dependable, totally zen colleague, and the dynamic and inspiring teacher. One memory that will never fade is the video you shared of yourself in full kabuki costume, dressed as a samurai, brandishing a sword. Go conquer retirement, Hideo. Our well wishes are forever with you.
I am Professor Hideo Watanabe. I came to William Paterson University in 2001 as a full-time professor of Japan. The university intended to expand the Asian Studies program, and I developed language and culture courses in the area of Japan. Before that, less than 10 students were studying the Japanese language with one adjunct professor. The Japanese program has grown bigger. Before the COVID pandemic, more than 100 students took courses taught by 6 professors. Such growth was due to both the university embracing Asian studies as well as the students' enthusiastic cooperation. A student once told me, "Professor, let's make a Japanese club with the students' creative ideas and volunteer activities." This is the origin of the current Go Japan Club. Recently, Go Japan has been very active. In fall 2021, 5 events were held, including the presentation of Okinawa's music and history and the students' workshop of Japanese calligraphy. I believe that Go Japan increased the general university students' interest in Japan. JET, the Japan Exchange Teaching Program, has been another appeal to students, I presume. JET is a job opportunity by which students go over to Japan to teach English in local schools. Although JET is sponsored by the Japanese government and is very competitive, many William Paterson University graduates have received that prestigious opportunity. Study abroad in Japan is also a great opportunity for students to directly experience Japan. I took Japanese students twice to Japan, and Japanese people really appreciate American students' visit to the country. While in Japan, I told a local Japanese woman that I would visit Japan next year together with 15 students from America as a program of the study abroad in Japan. Then, the Japanese woman began making Japanese kimonos, and on our arrival in Japan, 17 of us were presented gorgeous summer kimonos. Like these, I have had wonderful experiences as a professor at William Paterson University over my 22 years. I want to thank everybody who allowed me to share my language and culture with you. It has been a real pleasure to join you in your learning experience here at William Paterson University. Thank you for this award.
Hi, I am Lucia McMahon, Chair of the History Department. I am delighted to celebrate Evelyn Gonzalez's many years of service to the William Paterson community. Evelyn joined the History Department in 1995 after completing her PhD in American History at Columbia University. She is a well-respected scholar of urban and ethnic history. Her book, The Bronx, has been praised for its detailed research and its thoughtful historical narrative. As one review essay noted, the author seems to have read everything in any way connected with her subject. Her book examines the Bronx's transition from a 19th century residential suburb that later became a haven for upwardly mobile immigrants. She traces a complex set of factors that led to the borough's decline and decay by the 1970s. Evelyn ends her book with a look at recent grassroots revitalization efforts, offering hope for future growth and recovery. This hopeful, optimistic vision has been a defining feature of Evelyn's personality and her career at William Paterson, and is clearly evident in her teaching and service record. Evelyn has taught a number of courses, including U.S. History Surveys, Urban History, History of the 1960s, and New Jersey History. In all of her courses, Evelyn sets high standards for her students and gives them every opportunity to succeed. Her service to the department and the university has been truly commendable. I know that I can always count on Evelyn to attend open houses and student events, as well as to serve on various committees. She is truly one of the most generous colleagues that I have worked with. I will miss her cheerful presence in the atrium, but I know that this is not goodbye. I look forward to our continued gatherings and to our enduring friendship. Enjoy your retirement, Evelyn.
Hi, my name is Evelyn Gonzalez. I've been at William Paterson for 27 years, a long time. I've loved every minute of it. I believe the school is doing important work. I've loved all my students. Some of my students have gone on to grad school. One is working for the Associated Press. Another one is quite a few of them are teaching. But I have one that's who teaches at a Catholic school. I mean, they go everywhere. I've had success with that. I write letters of recommendation all the time. And it's one of the things that I will miss at William Paterson. So it's a very rewarding school, a very rewarding career. And I've been here that long. And I am ready to retire, but I'm going to miss the school quite a bit.
Phil Cioffari came to what was then Paterson State College as an assistant professor in English in January of 1966. Phil has taught thousands of WP students for 56 years. Yep, 56 years. He has been the longest serving teacher in WP's entire history. But more than that, Phil has also reshaped both our English department and our university. Phil came here as a literature scholar, soon completing his PhD at NYU in Southern writers after Faulkner. He was part of a new guard of English faculty that added depth and complexity to our curriculum as WP transitioned from a teacher's college to a comprehensive university. But Phil soon developed into an accomplished creative writer as well. He is the author of 5 novels and a book of short stories. His latest novel, published in 2020, is If Anyone Asks, Say I Died from the Heartbreaking Blues. Phil's also the writer and director of the 2006 independent feature film, Love in the Age of Dion, which won several awards at film festivals. By the 1970s, Phil taught mostly creative writing classes here. He became the founder of the creative writing side of our English department. Before that, as a young teacher in the late 1960s, Phil also fought to desegregate WP, which was then a virtually all-white institution. He teamed up with another new English professor, Fort Mano, to fund and launch the SOUL program, Society of Unlimited Learning, which in the fall of 1968 offered full scholarships and a supportive teaching program to 20 African-American students from working-class families. As part of the fundraising for SOUL, Phil and Fort convinced Little Anthony and the Imperials, whose breakout hit was Tears on My Pillow, to play at Shea Auditorium, where they sold out 1,100 seats. Phil and Fort were also the faculty advisors for the 20 SOUL students during their entire 4 years at WP. At their 1972 graduation, Phil invited Shirley Chisholm to come and speak here. Phil's SOUL program was the direct precursor to WP's Educational Opportunity Program, which began to admit and support students a year or two after SOUL. Phil, on behalf of the entire English department, congratulations. Congratulations on your amazing 56-year teaching career, on your tremendous contributions to our department and to the university, and on the tremendous impact you've had on thousands of WP students for over 56 years. Thank you so much.
I find it impossible to sum up the 55 years I've spent at William Paterson University. My entire life, my entire adult life was spent here. So I will simply say, I'm deeply grateful for the many fine students I've had the opportunity to mentor and to learn from, and the many wonderful faculty with whom I've shared the journey. I wish the university all success in continuing its mission to educate the young adults of New Jersey. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Professor John Paris, and I speak on behalf of the English department to celebrate the career of my colleague, Marina Budhos. The department, college, and university has been honored and lucky to have had a professor so accomplished and a colleague so warm work with us for the past 2 decades. Marina's creative talent is stunning. She has authored 7 novels, both for adults and for a young adult audience, and has garnered several major literary awards, including a prestigious National Endowment for the Arts grant, a Fulbright scholarship, and 3 fellowships from the New Jersey Council on the Arts. She has also published in numerous nationally recognized magazines and journals, and published 3 books of nonfiction. It was that kind of scholarly and creative background that Marina brought into the classroom to share with our students in courses ranging from fiction and creative nonfiction to Asian American literature, book and magazine editing, and the MFA thesis seminars. Regarding the MFA program, Marina was influential in its creation a decade ago, and just this year she created a new proposal to combine the English MFA with the Master of Arts in Professional Communication. Throughout the years, Marina has served on just about every committee in the department, and could always be counted on for intelligent input and productive service. It is with great warmth and affection that we celebrate Marina's really immeasurable contributions over the years. Her kind presence, her thoughtful solutions, her commitment to both the details and to the greater visions that shape and make excellent education. Marina, we will miss you so much, and we wish you continued success and happiness. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Professor Budhos. I have been teaching in the English department for 18 years, and with some bittersweet feelings that I will be retiring. I actually first arrived here at William Paterson 6 months pregnant, and I was welcomed with open arms by the community here and managed to get through that first semester and give birth at the very end. From the start, it was a very exciting place to be because I was asked to create quite a number of courses. We were just building up our Asian Studies minor, so I created the Asian American Literature course, I created the Indian literature course, and participated in the Asia Society Teach Asia program, which allowed us to bring more Asian content into our courses. We had our first conference. I collaborated with colleagues and we did a Silk Road history, art history, English course that was quite wonderful for freshmen. So there was just so much creativity in creating curriculum, but also in diversifying our curriculum. We then went on to create a new world literature position, which is held by Professor Carr, who now runs the Asian Studies program and has really built it up in so many ways. The other area I was obviously very active in was our creative writing program, which grew tremendously during this time. I am a writer of fiction and nonfiction. I write for young adults and for adults. And we did a lot of work around diversifying and globalizing our curriculum and bringing it up to date. And that was just some wonderful creative work. And we really kind of dusted it off and made the curriculum so much more relevant for a global world. What I most I'm going to remember, though, about my time here are the students. And I've taught writing from every level, from the most beginning to the most advanced. While I was there, we also created our MFA program in creative and professional writing. And there have been countless students that I've taught and mentored in that program. One of my favorite courses was the last course they would take, the research and thesis seminar, where I would sort of hold their hand and get them through the whole manuscript process. And I quite loved that. But I also liked having these beginning students, these beginning creative writers. I remember bringing them to the Ben Shahn Gallery to get them inspired by an exhibit. Or we also had just so many different exercises. So during my time at William Paterson, it was very productive for me as an author. I published 6 books with a 7th on its way in October, and all of that is due to my wonderful students and my wonderful colleagues who helped keep it real and supportive, and I thank you so much for this award.
I joined the faculty at William Paterson last summer in 2021. Though I've only been here a short time, Karen has become an incredible mentor, a colleague, and a friend. She's always kind, always thoughtful, and clearly intentional in her cultivation of relationships with others. Her character and her way of being draw people in and set an example for how to interact with others, as well as for coming alongside others, especially students, to lead them from one level of knowing and learning to the next and the next and the next after that. One of the sentiments I've heard echoed by many other of our faculty and staff in the music department is that upon their hire, Karen was one of the first, if not the first, to reach out and greet them, helping them to feel welcomed and included. This was definitely true for me also, and that sense of hospitality and warmth is a regular part of how Karen speaks and interacts with everyone, colleagues and students. I've also learned so much from the way that Karen advocates for students, whether she's considering concert scheduling, programming music, curriculum changes, or policy changes. Karen always keeps the impact on students' learning and well-being at the center of the discussion. I don't think it's so much an effort that she makes as much as it is who she is and how she views the privilege of teaching our students and preparing the next generation of musicians. Throughout the years, Karen's deep commitment and dedication to the students of William Paterson has been evident in all that she does, especially her hands-on, collaborative approach to teaching flute and to music making has placed emphasis on the process and the journey, enabling students to find joy in the small tasks and the small victories that result in great growth. This is something her students, especially the flute students, have celebrated about her time and again. Even more, she takes the time to know her students, listening thoroughly, asking questions, being available, and following up. It's not uncommon to receive an email moments after a meeting with Dr. Dempsey, which sums up the conversation and connects students to resources or includes further thoughts and encouragement. From a student's first day on campus, clear until their graduation, Karen remains present and active in the lives of her students. I would be remiss not to speak of her musicianship and musicality as a flutist. The famous flutist Marcel Moïse once said that he observed long ago that the true beauty in sound comes from generosity of heart. Karen's musicality, in fact, all that she does, is truly the reflection of a generous and beautiful heart. It has been an absolute joy, an honor, and a privilege to work with my colleague, Karen Dempsey. Karen, thank you for all that you've done for the WP community throughout your time here. I wish you the greatest blessings in this new chapter of your life. Congratulations on your retirement.
Hello, my name is Karen Dempsey, and I am on the music faculty at William Paterson University, and I am retiring after 30 years. I can hardly believe I'm saying that number because it literally has flown by, and I want to thank the college for this beautiful gift in honor of my retirement. I didn't expect it, and it's really lovely. It'll be a cherished way to remember my years at William Paterson University. This is actually my 41st year of university teaching, and as I said before, 30 at William Paterson University. And when I started teaching in the music department in 1992, I knew right away this is where I want to stay. And there are two very good reasons for that. The first is the rather unusual sense of community. This doesn't happen at every university. A very strong sense of community. In fact, our music majors call it family in the music department. And that means that there is a long history, well-established history of collegiality. And when I say collegiality, what I mean is not only between faculty, but also collegiality between faculty and students, and collegiality student to student. It's a very supportive atmosphere. It's one in which we create safe spaces for our students. Everyone is treated with respect. We all genuinely like each other and admire each other. I've often said that the students and my colleagues make the music department a place at which I look forward to arriving every day. The other reason is the students are incredible. Music is very demanding. It's demanding mentally, emotionally, physically. There are no regular hours. It's Monday through Friday. It's evenings and it's weekends, classes, rehearsals, lessons, practicing, and so on. And our students face real challenges outside of school, family obligations, part-time jobs, other challenges. Those have been exacerbated by the pandemic. And of course, we have a wonderful support system at the university for students who need help in one area or another. But they are motivated. They have a work ethic, and they chose music because they're dedicated and committed to it. So it's been my honor and my privilege to work with students who have that level of motivation and dedication. And again, the word community, the word collegiality, the word family immediately comes to mind. Thank you.
It is my pleasure to introduce Dr. Lori Ramos. She has been my colleague for many years. I have served as her chair, and she has served as my colleague in the media studies area of the communication department. Lori brought a strong background in literacy studies and theory based in media ecology. She has done wonderful work with students, improving not only their writing, but also working with them to understand the role of media in society and to become better analyzers from a critical perspective of how the media work and how they influence our thinking. So she's done a wonderful job with that. I've had the special privilege of working with her on the trips that she organized with the help of the Provost's office and with our department's help to take students to Vieques in the wake of Hurricane Maria. That hurricane did terrible damage to the island, but especially to their communication network. And Lori organized our students to go there. And we did what we could to help their community radio station and worked with them, and they became our sister station. But the beauty of bringing students down there, our first trip, there were 19 of us. The beauty of bringing students down is they got to see what it is to have been a colony of the United States. And even though Puerto Rico now is technically a territory, the colonial history was very obvious. And we got to study not only that history, but the ecology of the island. And we also learned a lot about community media and how it affects particularly isolated communities in the way that Vieques is partially isolated from the mainland of Puerto Rico. So it was an eye-opening trip for the students. We were able to go back 2 more times. Thanks to Lori's connections on the island, we had amazing lectures and exchanges with the people who were there. We played baseball games with them. We met their kids. We handed out meals. It was really an amazing civic engagement and service trip while studying aspects of the media and how media can serve the community. So I really, it was an extraordinary experience, and it literally changed lives. So Lori went to huge lengths to get those trips organized and to run them when we were there. And I was very privileged to be able to travel with her on those trips. In addition, we were able to take students to the Media Ecology Association convention in Toronto to present our research about our experiences in Vieques. And Lori has also presented research at other times in other places, and has done a lot of work in supporting the students emotionally as well. So she's been a wonderful colleague. We will miss her dearly. She has created lots and lots of opportunities for our students, and they are the richer for it.
Thank you, Diana. I am grateful to William Paterson for recognizing my service and the service of my colleagues who are retiring as well. I feel fortunate to have joined the faculty of the Communication Department in September 1998, initially working with colleagues in journalism to develop our first media writing requirement and teach media law and ethics. Eventually, I worked with colleagues to develop the media studies concentration, where we would teach courses about the impact of media on society, the impact of how media industries are structured in America and internationally, and about how this shapes our news and entertainment biases, as well as the importance of understanding media history and how to engage in media criticism. I believe all of these areas of study are as critically significant now as ever before. I am grateful to all the dedicated faculty members of my area and department with whom I have had the privilege to work for their continued dedication in teaching our students to critically engage and understand the significant role of the media in our rapidly evolving global society and the importance of civic engagement. I am grateful to William Paterson for recognizing the importance of these areas and issues, but I am most grateful for their support in bringing a team of students and colleagues to Vieques, Puerto Rico, to work in collaboration with our award-winning radio station after Hurricane Maria devastated the island, and to support the community radio station on the island get back on air, provide critical information to their community, create an emergency ham radio network, and support work on an oral history project. William Paterson supported the collaboration for several trips for our students post-Maria, and it changed the lives of our students and mine as well. It was the highlight of my career to collaborate closely with Robert Rabin Sigal, who was the director of the community radio station Cultural Museum and Historical Archives. He worked tirelessly with others on Vieques to teach the history and impact of decades of U.S. military bombing on the island and advocate for social justice for the Viequense people who still struggle with the health effects of this legacy and the highest cancer rates in Puerto Rico. He died of cancer last month, but his impact on our students and so many others will be lasting. Thank you, William Paterson, for making all of this possible.
What an incredible, when I started earlier and I mentioned the legends, you all see now the evidence of that, the incredible contributions of the faculty that we are celebrating tonight. I'd like to take a moment to mention a couple of things. One is that we also have in present tonight, we have Dave Maltese, who is also a member of the Dean's Advisory Board, and two other faculty members who recently retired. We have Yin Kong Dai, and we also have I'm sorry, and then I didn't say that right. I meant to say Tim Liu, and I don't know what I'm thinking. So my apologies. Tim Liu, who recently retired and was an incredible creative writer for our university, and along with Lori, and we all started the same year, September 1998. So absolutely incredible. Thank you for being here this afternoon, this evening, Tim. In addition to celebrating the legends that we have this evening, the faculty have agreed to allow us to tag on a little something to this celebration, which is an invitation to participate or donate to something called the Last Mile Scholarship. Now, I could talk about it and I could describe it, but nobody does it better than our associate dean. So if you would cue up the video for the Last Mile Scholarship, it's a short piece. If you would hang in there and watch, I'd appreciate it.
Hello, my name is Ian Marshall, and I'm the Associate Dean in the College of Arts, Humanities, and Social Sciences here at William Paterson University. I am thrilled to participate in our second annual Last Mile Scholarship fundraiser. Last year was a success because of generous donors just like you who pitched in as little as a few dollars to as much as several $100s. Our donors recognize that our students work hard for everything they have. Many of them are both full-time workers and full-time students. Despite this, some who enroll in college never finish because they can't earn enough to meet living expenses and at the same time cover the cost of school. Many of them are just a few $100s away from completing that last course in that last semester before earning their degrees. That's why we created the Last Mile Scholarship Fund. This fund meets the financial need of students in that last mile, that home stretch that enables them to complete their degrees. We pay a few $100s to bridge the gap between what they can afford and what they owe. I've had the wonderful opportunity to listen to some of our Last Mile scholars talk about what this fund means to them. I invite you to listen to what they say.
Hi, my name is Imani Resto of the William Paterson University class of 2022, majoring in criminal justice with a minor in psychology. With that, I would like to go into either corrections, parole, or social work, but working with juveniles is the goal.
Hi, my name is Iqbal Kusari of the William Paterson University class of 2022, Bachelor's of Arts Legal Studies major.
I'm also a peer leader on campus. That means I help the incoming first-year classes adjust to their first year of college. I'm a student secretary at the Academic Success Center, so I help students find tutors or help them with their other academic needs as well. Finally, I am also a member of Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated, and I am a Last Mile Scholarship recipient.
I am a Last Mile Scholarship recipient. The Last Mile Scholarship was important to help me pay for my last few classes. College is very expensive, and I was worried that I would not get to the finish line.
The Last Mile Scholarship was important to give me that little extra support to actually graduate.
When I think about this scholarship, I know that I had a lot of supporters and I achieved my goals.
I wonder how many juniors and seniors do not know about this scholarship, because I surely did not know.
The Last Mile Scholarship was important to give me that little extra support to actually graduate.
The Last Mile Scholarship was important to help me pay for my last few classes. College is very expensive, and I was worried that I would not get to the finish line.
After graduation, I will seek employment and begin my career in the legal field.
After graduation, I plan to go into my career and start my own waxing business. Thank you for supporting me and giving me this tremendous opportunity. I know there are many more students in the same situation that I faced and can just tell how important it is for them to have this scholarship available.
I'm asking that you contribute today to the Last Mile Scholarship Fund so that we can build on the successes of last year. In this way, we'll help even more College of Arts, Humanities, and Social Sciences students achieve their dream of a college degree. Information about how to contribute appears on the screen below. Thank you for your generosity, and thank you for your support of our students.
Thank you again for attending this evening and helping us to celebrate these incredible faculty members. Their absence will have will be noticed. They're irreplaceable in many ways. I'd like to follow up and mention a couple of things. One other thing, two other things. Alex Molino, who is also here this evening, he is another Dean's Advisory Board member. I was reminded because I wasn't going through the participants, so thank you very much for reminding me. Alex is here this evening, and thank you for participating. The Last Mile Scholarship is an incredibly important tool that we use to help our students be successful. the individuals that we showed in the video are incredible. But in addition to that, this last semester we had a student who was about to try to finish was trying to finish their degree, and about 16 years ago, left the university, circumstances, whatever, just the things that happen. But he had a balance, and that balance was keeping him from being able to register for classes. And he was in a situation where he had 2 or 3 classes left, and his employer was willing to cover the cost of those tuition, but he couldn't register. So year after year after year, he was trying to do it. And he's a father, he's got 3 young children, and to be able to balance all that was very difficult. Our ability to step in and help him resolve some of that balance, to put him in a position so that he would be able to register for his classes, finish them this past semester, and graduated in May. And he reached out to me and shared with us that it was incredible for him when he walked across the stage and his children could see him finish a goal that he had started 20 years before. The Last Mile Scholarship is transformative, it's important. So please consider donating to this great cause. And thank you all for being here this evening and celebrating our wonderful faculty. I will be following up with an email that will include a recorded link of this for everyone who participated here this evening, as well as opportunity for you to sign an electronic card on behalf of the faculty members. So I look forward to hearing from you there. Hope you I hope you have a wonderful semester, and I look forward to seeing many of you next fall.